Right, welcome to the first video in a series on a new project I'm working on called PowowShell. PowowShell is about an idea I have to integrate software from lots of different sources. The idea behind it is that every day millions and millions of lines of code are written, and the reusability aspect is very low because everybody's writing code that can't really be reused by other people because it's very proprietary, it doesn't support a standard interface, and it's sort of almost one-use software which is thrown away afterwards. Let's take a simple example of your phone. Most people today have a smartphone, and we all know that it's kind of a pain when you want to charge your phone but you don't have your specific cable there. So let's say you have an iPhone, you need an iPhone charger, but if you have a Samsung, you may have one of various different types of charging plugs. Modern phones will have the USB-C, older phones will have the micro. When you lose that cable and you go through your drawer, you find there's different types of micro cables. There's a mini, there's an A and a B type. So basically you've got this cool standard called USB, which is really great standard protocol, so a standard communicator. But the connectors, the adapters, are so diverse. With software, the situation's much, much worse. But before we look at software, let's look at the types of, even if we just look at just power adapters in the world, there are so many different power adapters that when you travel, you need a crazy adapter to actually do anything. But we all know how it is. There are so many different types of connectors that it gets a bit crazy. And that's just within the field of electronics and music. If we narrow it down a bit, we start to see something quite nice happening. And that is that basically when you get to the field of music, these are the only connectors pretty much the only connectors that you need when you want to plug in. If you look at this diagram here, you've got a whole bunch of different devices. And the amazing thing, and this is where standards are really cool, is you can go and buy any variation of these pedals and plugs and effects things and amps, and they all work, and they all can be plugged in together with the same cable. And the cable you use is this cable here, because the music industry just decided we don't want lots of different. With that thing you can connect all of these, and that's a phenomenal achievement. All the manufacturers have decided this is the way we're going to connect. So that connector has been standardized, and it makes life so much easier for KISS and other bands to connect their instruments together. All the same cable. Now, of course, there are sort of exceptions to the rule. From the outside, if you look at this connector, it looks pretty similar to all these connectors, but you can start to see differences. So this is a mono connector. You've basically got ground and signal. And with this, you get ground and two channels of signal. You've got a left and right. So this is a stereo connector here, and this is a mono connector. But the cool thing is they've designed these things to be interoperable. So when you connect, let's say you've got a device which accepts mono input, and you plug in a stereo input, these two inputs basically become joined, and it works at the end of the day. In the area of software, okay, I'm just Googling nonsense here. There's basically nothing. There's not really anything. I mean, we're getting some hardware images here, but how do you connect software A to software B? Inevitably, you need someone to program software C in the middle, because software A speaks one language and software B speaks another language. If you think about the world of Unix, Unix has a sort of a paradigm, which I think I best display by a live demo. I can run a command and I get text. I can run another command and I also get text. And then so let's say we run this command and we get a whole bunch of stuff. We pass it to another command, grep, which does a search, and I can say, well, search for bash, please. And what's happened here is that this output, this text here, has been passed to grep, and it's been told to search for all the lines which are containing bash, and it's filtered them out. And you can get really advanced with this, and you can send stuff to other programs. I can send it to awk, a file. With another type of connector, I can send it to a file. And the idea is that you can sort of build up commands and pipe them together. And that's really cool, and it works within Unix, and it even works to a certain degree within DOS. So this is kind of ubiquitous in the world of command line environments, that you can pipe stuff, and as long as it's text, everything works great. Now some genius, I can't remember his name, he said, well, this is fine and good, but if anyone ever changes the format of this command, then the command that it's being connected to won't be able to understand what is being sent through the wire.